or an entire hallucinated army.
And think about it. If it wasn't a good unit in some form of function, Blizzard would get rid of it. Look how long their programmers took to make this game. If they spent 10 years making this game and $500 million, they would not leave a unit in it that was really dumb.
Though some of them
were a little bit they need to be nerfed or modified or made better, and so forth. And they're working on that, and will continue to work on that. I'm confident in that.
But we're definitely trying to urge you guys on into thinking of like, okay, well the Reaper, it hasn't been used at all, or very, very seldomly used. We're going to try to get you guys to come up with ideas of your own. And maybe if you guys want to like highlight a unit, or if you guys can like all vote on a unit in chat and say, we want this to be on, like, we want to find some uses on next week's show. Septio and I will try to find some replays with that unit being used effectively. And we'll use it in next week's show. But in the game, we're seeing the Brood Lords just absolutely trash the base. But here's where X-Lord becomes X-Lord. He sees a mothership, and all you good dogs know,
run away.
Mothership, run.
Run for your life, because, especially when there's 5 Archons, the almighty Archon toilet bowl is not a place that it stinks for Zerg.
Yeah, it definitely does. And that's actually an interesting point we can make. The mothership. At the beginning of the game, it was like, oh, this unit's going to be awesome. And then they made it terrible. And then everyone's like, wow, this unit, no one would ever build it. But now it's completely standard in ZVP late game. Like, Kiwi-Kaki was actually the one who... He does a lot of these kind of builds that are just kind of like, weird. I didn't think you could do that. But it actually works really well. He actually, like, invented the Archon toilet. I'm not sure. I'm sure he's not the first one. He popularized it. And that was a huge metagame shift. And now everyone's doing it. And to a player a year ago, it would have been like, well, that's kind of stupid. Why would you want to use a mothership in PvZ? They could snipe it off in a second. But we're going to see this upcoming battle, see what this metagame shift that occurred
of the mothership
ago
really
happened. So hopefully some of our ideas might become like this. You never know. And you never know when your style is going to catch on, like Spanishiwa, Kiwi-Kaki.
Yeah, people...
Players like that.
And people talked about Spanishiwa. It's like, it's crazy not having gas so you don't have speed for a huge portion of the early game. That seems insane. But if you look at it, Spanishiwa, his style was very popular and very effective. I mean, who would have thought expanding with a forge with a single cannon against Zerg on a map? That seems pretty stupid, because I could get 7 Roach rushed and it should possibly die, but no, it doesn't actually. I mean, a lot of the most absurd ideas have been somebody saying, you know, I'm going to try something different and see if it works, and if it doesn't, then I'll recant and I'll try something new.
And the Thomas Edison style.
Yeah. We'll find a new and better way to create a light bulb. That's all we are suggesting, is just trying new ways to make good use of all the units. It doesn't have to be Hydras or Reapers or, you know, really exotic units. It might be just a new tactic, for all we know.
It could be a new battle tactic, like you split your units up in this certain way. So we will be having a lot of these really good ideas. What we want to really focus on tonight is the use of hallucination, especially in these late-game battles. Because imagine if he had 10 sentries, let's say. He had quite a few sentries, which really good Protoss players will make sentries any time in the game, because if you can capture their army, you can crush them. But imagine a 200-200 army, going back to the hallucination thing, and your 202 army has a basic damage output. It's DPS, it's damage per second. It's going to be huge with 200 supply of units. And the only thing that would make it better is to add more health to that composition. So let's say you have a massive army of, let's just say you have a little bit of everything. But you really want to stress the fact that you want to have a ton of air and kind of freak your opponent out. You warp in, or you hallucinate, let's say 10 Void Rays. And that adds such a large amount of health to your army that just even like...
Or 10 Immortals. Imagine 10 Immortals.
Yeah. These Immortals still...
have their energy shields that only take 10 damage max. So, going against siege tanks with hallucination, fantastic idea.
It definitely is. So, just imagine the extra health in a 202 army. Like, think of this battle, and this battle is actually... This is why motherships are really good. We're just going to sit back, watch the Vortex. Also, wait a second. You know what, Septile? Pause right now.
Alright, I'm at the 29-minute 05. Is that what you're at about?
Oh, sorry. Go to 29 minutes and 20 seconds. I'm apparently a little bit ahead of you.
Okay.
because you need to see what I'm seeing, and you'll see why I'm so upset. Nah. Are you there?
3 seconds short. There we go. Okay, leagues for these guys. We are Diamond and Master. I would say that my Protoss is Masters level, but because of the fact that my MMR got dumped from one season, I'm not Masters right now. But Veritas is a Masters level player, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Masters level player, and I'd like to think I'm high Masters, even though my ranking hasn't been high. It's just because I don't play very often. I theory crap like this. I'm sorry. But basically, we do a lot of casting. We kind of know the metagame. We kind of know what we're talking about, right? I hope we do. I hope what we say actually kind of makes sense to some of you out there, strategically, and we kind of make ourselves a little bit credible. And here's credibility for you. I'm going to say it. Professional Zerg players have got to be some of the dumbest people I've ever known, and I'm going to get killed for saying that. But I don't actually mean it. Okay, Zerg players, when you say a Vortex...
Don't put your units in.
Jeez, you look at how many Archons this guy has. I know they patched it and stuff, like, they can't immediately kill everything, but they're still going to kill everything if you walk into the Vortex. How many times have you seen, like, think back to IPL, Kiwikaki, that double Vortex, won the game in that, like, amazing base trade situation, like, amazing, like, there's no money left on Shattered Temple. He won because the Zerg put all his eggs in one basket, and the Archons disintegrated it. So,
Archon's good unit.
This is going to be the best piece of knowledge that Zerg players have ever had. Don't put your units in a Vortex.
That sounds really... That just sounds really
I'm
funny.
sorry. It's just like, ever since I saw it on a stream, I asked, why do Zerg players do this? And apparently, they find some reason to put their army in it. I don't know why, but don't do it. It's terrible. I guarantee you. There's no way you can argue this. Don't do it. Let's go ahead and unpause. I'm sorry, but I'm very passionate about this. Okay, I'm pausing in 3, 2, 1. So we're going to see exactly what I said was going to happen. Everything's going to just die.
Yeah, Archon's pretty good unit. Also, Broodlords may be slow, but running away as opposed to not running away, and losing all of them, as you can tell from those Archons, and taking no losses for the Protoss. Just like to emphasize to you, Aaron, that, losing some Broodlords as opposed... An organized retreat probably would have been better there, but anyway... Losing all of your units...
The only reason why X-Lord didn't just die is because he had 100 Spine Crawlers,
Yeah, he's a ton of Spine Crawlers and enough time to get a lot more Broodlords out. So good job to him for playing this style. It definitely kept him alive, actually.
Yeah, it's really good. Like, yeah. I would rage, and I'd be like, man, you are terrible, you use all the stacked defense, but really, if it's in the game, and your goal's to win, then do whatever you do to win, even if it makes you look like a cheesy player. Just build 100 spines if you're maxed out, really.
Well, frankly, that's actually a good idea, because then you can have a bigger army than when you actually do make an attack. So, if you have lots of money left over, lots of drones, spend them making spine crawlers.
Yep. So we're going to see these Archons go up north, tear through these spine crawlers, because upgrades on these sonic shockwaves, pretty good. So we're going to see those Archons taking out these 2 expansions, and these Stalkers taking out these 2 Spires in the main base, or shortly they will go down. And that actually gave Hasuovs a moment of hope.
Yep.
And
only a moment, but it did give him one.
And he has so much money and stuff, I think he could have done a lot better. But he was so far behind anyway. Like, you guys saw how much stuff that X-Lord has. He has, what? 9, 8, he has 17 Broodlords. You're never going to see that many, except if Nest T builds them against MVP and loses the game. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the BlizzCon final. It was kind of crazy. But yeah, these Broodlords, they're pretty good. Even though both these hatcheries go down, these Broodlords are going to slowly make their way over. Kill this expansion that is the weirdest placed expansion in history.
Yeah.
Right next to your opponent.
Heisu trying to go for the sneaky base next to it. They're neighbors now. And Repo Broodlords just showed up and said no.
Yep. Foreclosed. But if you want to go ahead, let's go and move this at 2 times speed, because I think we all know what's going to happen. So 2 times speed, everything's going to die. These Archons, their life is short of them. And these Brood Lords are just going to hunt down everything. They're basically going to go kill Mount Hasselhoff. He's going to get a mothership out eventually, but it's not going to be fast enough. And what we really want to stress is that X-Lord almost was in a position to lose that game. Now, he was never in a complete position like, oh, shoot, I think he might lose. It was more of like, that was a little bit too close for comfort, let's say that. And one of the main things that he could have done against Mount Hasu is just to drop everywhere. And I noticed in the comments, or in the chat, that a lot of you guys said that Nidus Swarms aren't that effective. Well, that's true because they cost money and they die like to probes. But think if you... Let's say this, like you drop in his base, so you split up his army and he has to stay in his base to deal with it. Then at the mouth of his choke, then you put the Nidus up, and then you attack. Think of how cool that would be, guys, just really.
Or yeah, or like you attack, you put a drop in his base, and then you Nidus the front while your main army is going, and then your reinforcements, on like, let's say, Shakuras Plateau. Like, let's say you put that Nidus up between the rocks, like in front of his natural and third. Now your reinforcements don't have a long way to go on the ground, on ground time, and they're immediately going to queue up, and you can put them anywhere. And you can have presence everywhere. Let's say, on Shakuras Plateau once again, let's take another example of a Nidus network that would work. Let's say you drop his main, he's got 3 bases, the traditional 3 bases, so he's got the top right, his natural then, and he's got the bottom left, what would be the natural if you're in the bottom, or excuse me, he's got the bottom right position, what would be the natural if he was in the bottom right. He's got those 3 positions as Protoss. Now you attack the main with a drop, you hit the front with your main army, you put a Nidus up between the rocks, and then you put a Nidus up in where his 4th base would typically be at, which is where the main base would be at if he was in the bottom right. Now all of a sudden you have multiple attack lanes that he can't cover all of those, period. No matter which way you cut it, and you can put your units anywhere. Now, it'll take some time to unload all of them, but anyway, just some ideas, okay, of how Nidus networks could be used differently.
But yeah, we definitely want you guys to try the Nidus thing out. I did use it in a game. It was like on a Septiol and I's like kind of throwaway account. We play random on it and we try new stuff. So we're not afraid to lose because we have an extra account. Yeah. But I tried it out and this is just not this isn't a testament to my skill. I think it's a testament to my opponents, also to the strategy that's just so annoying. I got 2 bases Zark because that's all I know how to do. And I beat a 3-base Terran by Nidusing and dropping at the exact same time. And I think he had a stronger army than me, but it was just so... It was just so, like, such an annoying strategy that he felt that he was behind the entire game. So he eventually GG'd without even coming at me. So it definitely... It's 1-1 game. So you brilliant people that actually have good ideas or are really good at coming up with these ideas and specific builds, you can come up with them and you can actually make them good.
Yes.
So, if you are done, we're almost done.
Yeah, we are done with that one then.
Okay. Let's go ahead and go into the final game. I think it's a little bit shorter. We should have enough time. And we'll go into the final time and just kind of... Let's talk about more of this hallucination. And actually I'm going to bring in something else that the Protoss could have done to get ahead in this game. And we'll talk a lot about these 2 concepts and further explore them. And although this is not ideal, like I know we're telling you a lot of theory, we really want to use viewer replays so we can actually be like, look, this is how it walked.
Yes.
But trust me.
Or how it didn't work, and we can analyze them. Like, if you have a game where, like, you tried something new and it just didn't work, and you don't know why, like...
Send it to us and we'll try to help.
Yeah, we'll try to help. We'll put it on the show. We'll do something. We'll try to figure out something. We promise.
Because we want these cool strategies, because trust me, there's nothing more boring than being behind in a game and being like, oh, there's nothing I can do about it. I can't win now. It's just like, I guess I have to wait till I lose kind of deal. You like that feeling like, I get it a lot when I Forge Fast Expand, when you're just like, ugh, he has 4 bases, I have to go kill him now or I lose. That's never a position you want to be in. So, hopefully some of these strategies will help fix that problem, but I am loaded up in the final game of the night between Cool RSVP and Dignitas Killer. Are you ready?
Right. Ready to go? I'm at the 6-second mark, but ready?
Yep.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. Alrighty, so we're in our final match for the night here. We've got